Welcome into season 2, episode 3 of Between the Lines. It is, as you can see, just myself today. Today is Myron's birthday, so happy birthday, Myron. He is out with family members. He is celebrating. He's turned 21 today, so happy birthday again to him. So for that reason, I am in a different location on the couch, and I'm in his spot, and we'll have our guest on here in a little bit. But we will not be doing North Central Corner here today. We will save that for next week when Myron is back and we have on a very special guest. We've already have that lined up, so that'll be super ecstatic and I can't wait. But for today, it will be just talking with our special guest to introduce him. His name is all over the record books for the men's volleyball program here at North Central, a very young program that started back in 2016. And he is a leader, a captain of this squad. He is a senior on the team. He has been elected to the All West Regional Honors last year. He was a first team CCIW. He led the team in kills, service aces, and as well as points. He was an academic All CCIW, so he is a student athlete. And as well as he was an honorable mention in IVCA All-America. He has been killing it pretty much his entire career here at North Central, and he's leading the team right now to a 6-2 record. They have had a couple of losses to some ranked opponents and one bad loss to Aurora, but we're here to talk with him about the upcoming season and the rest of it goes, the rest of the goes going into CCI play, and as well as just in general of his last couple of years here at North Central. So our special guest today is Jared Moser. All right, welcome in, Jared. How you doing today?
No, I'm doing good. A couple classes. Woke up way too late for my first one.
Yeah, that's bound to happen. Bound to happen, especially after a Super Bowl that just was.
Student athlete. Sometimes I forget that sometimes.
Student athlete, you know. But thank you for coming in. I know that scheduling and stuff like that was a little weird, a little hectic with stuff. Again, it's just myself. Myron is off in his birthday, celebrating his birthday with his family. So again, happy birthday to him.
Shout out Myron, happy birthday, 21st.
But let's just get right into it. You are a senior here now, one of the captains, one of the leaders of this men's volleyball team. What kind of led you to come here to North Central?
Yeah, so I had a couple visits prior to this one. This was my second visit, and the first one I had was to St. Francis in Brooklyn, which was a D1 school that was starting their volleyball program the year I would come in, so in 2020. Okay. The fall of 2019 and the spring of 2020. And I went there, fully paid for, flights for me, my mom, and my dad, hotel rooms and everything, breakfast, all meals. And we went there, and it was horrible.
Really?
I mean, it was atrocious. I mean, we literally went there, and there was no campus.
What do you mean no campus?
There was no campus. It was in the middle of Brooklyn Heights. The school, if there wasn't a banner out in front of the building, it would look like a 1950s office building in New York. Seriously? The classrooms were all vertical. You had to get there with singular elevators. I mean, not elevators, escalators. They were like one person wide. They didn't have a cafeteria or dorms.
So where would you stay?
You would have to pay for apartments in Brooklyn Heights and pay for all 3 meals. And on top of that, the gym looked like a elementary school field house with one set of metal bleachers just placed in the gym.
I have never heard of like a college.
Dude, and if you've seen videos, you know those videos of like the soccer field that's right on the river?
Yes.
Where you could see New York?
Yes.
Yeah. That is St. Francis.
Oh, okay.
That is their like claim to fame. That soccer field.
So
that's right on the river.
So that's probably how they get people. It's just
exactly.
like for athletics, at least they like see all their athletic fields.
So
and it's how
that was one of the coolest things. But after I came back, I was like, that's not what I want to do. Also, just the idea of being across the country for as long as, which I didn't have a problem with it.
Okay.
Up until that, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with my first card I ever received from a coach, and that was from this guy named Kyle Exline. My junior year of club season after a bad game. And I played okay. We lost in 2 at this club tournament.
Yeah.
This guy named Kyle Exline, bald dude with way too much energy at 8 in the morning, walked out to me, gave me his card. I was like, oh my gosh, like a college coach. Ended up going on the visit here. Loved it. Loved the campus. And Coach Exline obviously just brought me in, and he's one of the best guys I've ever met. Super nice. Just really knows how to be a coach. And I realized at the time the major that I wanted to do was journalism and media communications, which I came in with. I ended up changing it my sophomore year to entrepreneurship.
Okay.
To more of a business major. But either way, the business school here as well as the journalism school here are both incredible. So that was basically kind of my story coming in.
Nice. I mean, recruited to go D1, but terrible D1, it sounds like.
Yeah. Most you'll get to kind of find out that most, for volleyball at least, most of the guys here basically could have gone to a lower tier D1 school. Skill wise, just undersized.
Yeah.
Considering volleyball is just, that's really the biggest difference.
Because it is in volleyball, you pretty much look for like basketball centers. Like, they got to be tall, got to be lengthy, just to be at least the ones that are in front of the net.
Yeah, so you'll see a lot of front row players that are coming out of high school have really not a lot of championship experience or even a lot of experience with volleyball at all, getting recruited to these D1 schools because they're 6'6" and athletic. And then we have these middles, outsides even training just because they can touch 11.5.
Jesus.
Can you hit a volleyball? No, we could teach you. You can't teach height.
No, you can't.
You know what I mean?
No.
So when we go up against, like last fall, I had a scrimmage against Lewis University.
They're D2, right?
They're D2. They play in the D1 conference. They've been in the Final Four the last couple of years. They're a very, very good volleyball program at the D1 level. And, I mean, we went 4 with them, and we took a set from them. Granted, they didn't have their overseas player playing with them.
Okay.
Because he just wanted to, they didn't want to hurt him during a really random scrimmage. But either way, I mean, they had basically their entire lineup, and we took a set off them. And you could tell just by that match that the skill and the knowledge of the game was essentially even on both sides.
Really?
The only difference was we were here, they were here.
Okay.
In height. Realistically, that's the only difference.
That's incredible. I mean, good on you. At least you could say, you took a set from...
It was pretty cool.
From Lewis.
I was happy with it.
So, I guess speaking on when you first got here, talking about Coach, I've met him. He was my volleyball professor.
Volleyball class?
Volleyball class,
That's awesome. They took that out, right?
Yeah, they did. They ended up taking it out. But I took it
Great
before
class.
They took it out.
I never took it, but I've watched it.
It was amazing. I had it right before I had like hip surgery and stuff like that.
Okay.
So like I was like kind of moving around, kind of do the thing, but it was hilarious because Coach Heller for baseball, like, because I took it in the mornings, and it would be like during like winter March kind of area.
Yeah.
And it would be like raining one day or one morning, or like it just rained in the morning or whatever. And Coach Heller would walk in through like the groundskeeping office, and he'll just yell at me. He'd be like, "Sals, let's go. You got to do a dart pull now." And I would look at your coach or whatever. He'd be like, "You got to go do a dart pull." And I would leave class to go do a dart pull. But it was probably one of the best classes that I had. Yeah. Just because it's like a gym class.
It was gym class. Exactly what it was.
I guess to speak on what he's brought to this culture for the last 3 years. I mean, it feels like he's changed the volleyball landscape here at North Central for the last couple of years, and has brought you guys to be a championship caliber team.
Yeah, I mean, he came in the inaugural season of 2016. He was he started the program here. When they wanted to start a men's program here, he got the job.
Okay.
As the men's coach in 2016. And he was the one that recruited the 30 guys that started the program. He started it from scratch, from the ground up.
That's crazy.
And he has had this program in his hands ever since. And one of the main things that I've seen him change, and I think this was another question you were going to ask, is one of the things you've seen change in the last 3 years, 3.5 since I've been here, is that when I came in, he just came off of a very senior-heavy season. in couple seasons.
Okay.
Because those were the last founding fathers of the program. Because it was 2019, and then the first couple recruiting classes were 2016, starting in 2015. So they were all seniors going out. And so those first couple of years, he really had to dial it in the technical work. They were all freshmen, newbies.
Yeah.
Like, this is what this drill does. This is how you pass. This is how you serve. This is how we run our system. And you lose that as a coach throughout the years when we go into practice and everybody knows exactly what system we're running.
Yeah.
And how to play for you. So when my class came in, which was a class of 6 freshmen, which 4 of us started right out the gate.
Yes.
It was
you had an amazing freshman year.
Well, kind of cut short. I kind of got lucky just because I had the nice ending to the 2020 season. So that was kind of like a gimme award there. But, it was me on the 01, Ben Williams on the 02, who was also a freshman, Jeremy Cardenas in the M2, who's also a freshman. We had Jake Miller go in sometimes on the right side. We had a transfer setter, Matthew Nealon, who was a sophomore, still a first year, come in and set sometimes. It was crazy. We had all of these guys coming in just as freshmen, still playing. It was wild. So that first year that we came in, Kyle Exine kind of had to go, oh, wait, we're all freshmen now. I have to revert back to that original starting mantra, which was more of dialing it in on the meaning of the team, what we want, the accountability, the respect, the discipline.
So pretty much that culture aspect.
The culture aspect of what we want to do and how we want to do it.
Yeah.
And this year he's really bringing that back, even though we're all seniors, because I mentioned it to him. I was like, let's bring it back to what we used to do. Team meetings, dial it in on the little stuff. And this little stuff works and goes a long way. So this year I think we're just bringing it really all together for kind of this last hurrah for the 7 seniors that are going to be graduating.
Yeah, you guys have had a great start to the season so far.
Great.
6-2. That still feels like a good start.
Yeah, those 2 losses were not good. We didn't play good. We didn't really lock up as a team. We weren't dialed, but we're definitely smoothing out the edges.
Had to feel nice being ranked all the way up in the top 10 to start the year, and then you faced that number 7 to start the year. How did that sort of that preparation going into knowing you're going to play another team that's going to be, as good as you, they're ranked as high as you. This is great competition to start off. You guys unfortunately drop it 3-1. Yeah. But how did the team, rally behind that for the next couple of matches and stuff?
It was a punch in the gut, is what it was. It was a slap in the face. It was going to practice every single day thinking, we're the best team, and that we are one of the best teams in the country and no one can stop us. But we were only playing ourselves. We were only playing in practice each other, A squad, B squad, C squad, and watching film on ourselves. We haven't seen or played another team since last April.
Yeah.
When we lost Dominican in 5 to end our season in the NCAA, tournament. Mm-hmm. And we came into this game, it just shocked us. A lot of the guys were just like, oh, wait, we need to actually ball out right now.
Yeah.
And we just weren't, I don't think as a team, a lot of the guys were, a lot of guys weren't. I think as a team, we just weren't ready for that type of pressure. And a lot of the guys coming in, sophomores, juniors that have never really had a starting spot before, getting thrown into the deep end with, one of the best teams in the country. We did not play efficient enough to even come close to giving them a challenge. We played good enough to take a set off them, but not nearly as good as we should have.
Do you think, looking at it now, if you guys faced off now, or you could take another set off maybe, or make it more of a competition, make it more of a battle?
I think if we had even 1 or 2 games under our belt, we would have beat them.
Really?
100%, because this was their 4th or 5th game of the season by the time they played us, so they kind of dialed it in like we did in the last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
That was our first game of the season, and we didn't really have a lot of chance to get game reps because you can play sixes all you want during practice, but actually having game reps against another team, especially from another part of the country, East Coast, we didn't really stand a chance, and that's on us. And I think we learned from that, especially the underclassmen that were playing in that game, and we dialed it in. And our other loss, Aurora University, that was a bad one. We lost in 5. No one really had a great game. No one played exceptional.
Okay.
Everyone played
So it was like everyone just seemed to have that sort of off, whether it was just a set
there was not
anything.
really a connection with our setter, which has kind of been happening a lot. Tyler Donovan also works at the station here.
Yeah.
He's a junior. He's never started before, but he is our 6'7" junior starting setter. Massive body, great at blocking, great offensively, but just the connection is getting dialed in, and it's almost there. When this happens, you know what I mean? When you have a setter that doesn't have a year under his belt, like last year, Matthew Nealand, senior setter, he had his whole junior year to get dialed in, which was my sophomore year. And then our junior year, his senior year, was the year he was like, okay, I know exactly what to do with you guys.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Tyler didn't have that. So it's kind of just in fast motion. You need to dial it in right now. You don't have an entire season to do that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, so that connection is a huge thing for volleyball.
Yeah.
Knowing where to place a ball, knowing the timing of it and everything with everybody.
It truly is one of the most integrated team sports out there you can play. And similar to a sport like baseball where one person cannot take over a game.
Yeah.
They cannot. Because if you don't have a back row that can pass the ball well enough to run a middle, to get the single block outside, to get the blockers to pull for the outside.
Yeah.
Or a pass good enough for a setter that's maybe not good enough to get the ball to the setter that's not good enough to deal with a bad set. Yes. You know what I mean? Each part of the game is completely team-oriented, and you cannot take over a game with one player. I mean, even in games where one person plays ridiculously good, you cannot win that game. I mean, even in the Sonny New Paltz game that we lost, I think our middle – Jeremy Cardenas, our senior middle, first team All-American last year, one of our other captains, one of 3. I think he hit close to like 500 that game. We lost him 4. Dang. You know what I mean? You can't really do anything more than that as a middle. Yeah,
you're laying your body out there on the line. You're trying to as much as you can. It's just that one. Let's say one person just has an off day. It's just that could kill an entire momentum, kill an entire team.
100%.
I guess let's take it back a little bit to high school growing up. Did you play any other sports, or was it just strictly volleyball?
Yeah. I didn't start off with volleyball. I was a baseball guy. I played baseball all my life. I played baseball since I was like 4 years old, basically up until my sophomore year of high school.
Okay.
I was always
you hit a growth spurt and you're like, I'm gonna go play volleyball now.
Actually, no. It was different. I was always an infielder. Never really played outfield. I was a shortstop when I was in travel growing up, and then I kind of transitioned into a third baseman. And while I was always an infielder, I was always one of the pitchers.
Gotcha.
I was the starting pitcher usually, third base, pitcher, sometimes catcher, just because, that arm, just gunning people.
You just got to have that arm. Yeah.
Like, try me. Basically, I played travel all the way up, and I started playing volleyball in 6th grade. Obviously, when I was a kid, I played flag football. I played basketball. I did karate, like all the random stuff that kids do.
I went through that whole thing too.
Of course. But it was basically baseball and basketball up until 6th grade when I started playing volleyball and golf. On top of it. My dad put me into this Sunday golf league, a Saturday junior golf league. We'd play 9 holes at Rob Roy Golf Course. Shout out Rob Roy. This 9-hole course right by my house.
Okay.
It's not nice at all, but I could play that course literally blindfolded.
Oh, because you played it so much, you know exactly.
And volleyball. And the reason why my dad wanted me to start playing volleyball was because he knew that I would either love it or be really good at it, because volleyball kind of ran in my family.
Okay.
My dad was the setter on the club team for Ball State when he went to college. And my mom was starting D1 outside for UIC.
Oh shit.
Yeah, she was a dog.
Yeah.
She was just a goofy-footed outside with an absolute cannon for an arm who just banged cross.
Dang.
So she basically, my entire childhood was me on Saturdays going with my parents to these fields where they would just play massive drunk grass tournaments.
Yeah.
That's fun. Playing with their college kids.
That is gotta be fun.
Going to my parents to these like rec leagues where they would play indoor just on Wednesday nights. And
So volleyball has like kind of been just always been around your life.
yeah, all my parents' friends that would come over at parties, all of them played college volleyball.
Gotcha.
So
Did you ever feel any pressure to play volleyball when growing up, or was it like almost like your dad kind of like signed you up or whatever, or kind of like was like, hey, like, do you want to at least try it, sort of thing?
Yeah, he was not pushy for any sport.
Okay.
He put me in sports and just let me. Like, if I wanted to play football, I would have played football.
Yeah.
You know, if I wanted to play baseball, he would have let me play baseball. My dad was never the type to push me to do anything. But one thing that I don't know if this is true or not, he might exaggerate it a little bit, but I think this is genuinely a true story. I was pitching at a 10U baseball tournament, and one of the other dads on the other team was like, "Hey, who's yours?" I was like, "Oh, he's number 35, the pitcher." Mm-hmm. He was like, "Oh man, the kid has an arm. Like, you want him to like go to play college?" And then, I'm like 10 years old.
Yeah.
Like, I just obviously one of these psycho parents that's like, you gotta go play college.
Yeah, pretty much.
And my dad's like, nah, he's probably gonna play college volleyball. And at this point, I haven't even touched a volleyball before. Mm-hmm. I was literally I was in 5th grade, and dude was like, seriously, does he play volleyball? He's like, no, but like I know he's gonna play college volleyball. And then the dude was like, okay, weirdo, like, what are you talking about? It turns out the next year, my dad started the men's program at my middle school. He said, Jared, do you want to play? I said, sure. I was a libero.
Yeah.
I was the kid with the different colored jersey, passing in the back row. And I ended up playing all through middle school, started club in 8th grade, played club my 8th grade freshman and sophomore year. Mm-hmm. And at this point, baseball and volleyball are in the same season in Chicago.
Yes.
For high school.
Yeah.
So they're both in the spring. And I played baseball my freshman year of high school.
Okay, so you didn't play volleyball.
Didn't play volleyball, but I played club volleyball. And then going into my sophomore season, winter break, I had to break the news to Coach Jason Weeder, the varsity coach for our high school, which sucked because he was like my mentor since I was 10. He taught me literally how to pitch every pitch I know. Like, he taught me how to throw a curveball, taught me how to throw a disgusting circle change. And I ended up breaking the news that I was going to play volleyball in high school. I ended up playing volleyball that year, and then my senior year, I decided I wanted to play volleyball in college, and yeah.
Is club volleyball more competitive than high school volleyball?
100%.
So it's like the same thing as like basketball, how AAU is kind of more competitive.
100%, but then it's kind of the opposite for baseball. Yeah, like baseball would be you just play travel to get reps for high school ball, where the opposite was for volleyball. Volleyball was literally you played high school volleyball just so you can stay primed for nationals during the summer, because nobody looks for recruits at a high school gym.
Really?
Everybody goes to club tournaments. Everyone goes to McCormick Place when they have the qualifiers. Mm-hmm. It's there is nothing about high school volleyball that's appealing for the next level. Basically, they use a different ball. They have different rules on the tosses. Yeah, you get 2 tosses in high school. They use a girls' ball. It's the set 3 is to 25, not to 15. It's weird in the Midwest.
That is so. Why would you use different?
And then you go to like California where they play 5-set thrillers, like it should be. Uh-huh. No wonder the West is ridiculous at volleyball, but yeah,
that is crazy. Okay, so leading into now this year, you've talked about the culture and everything coming up. You guys are 6-2 now. I guess, what is your personal goals, and then what is the overall team goal?
The overall team goal has changed since I've been here. Okay. When we came in the first year, the one goal, win a national championship.
Yeah.
Straight up, win a national championship. And once we realized, since we were like juniors, that was kind of implied, we stopped saying it.
Okay.
Every practice, we got to win a national championship. win a national championship. If that's programmed in your head, then I think you forget the little things before that. You forget we have to play 22 games before we even get to the tournament. I mean, there's 22 matchups. There's game days, practices so far before that. And if you're looking way too far ahead, you're literally just going to miss your exit, right?
Yeah.
So we have kind of changed our mentality on team goals. And our biggest mentality this year is the 3 words I said, which was accountability, discipline, and respect, and having fun. Those were our 4 really main goals this year. And I think the having fun one we forget about sometimes, especially me.
I mean, when you get super competitive.
And a lot of us are super competitive, especially kind of my mindset going into it. I'm not kind of the type to just blast Metallica for an hour before a game and just like right before. I'm literally screaming like darkness and President Me before every single game, and I'm kind of just tunnel vision, and I sometimes forget to have fun after a game. My dad will be like, Jared, one thing. I'm like, oh, my tosses were horrible. No, now you're just, oh, I have to finish my passes. No. You didn't smile once, dude. Like, it's a have fun. Like, yeah, I forgot. So I think the main goal this year, and like, yes, accountability, everything like that, but the having fun, I think, as childish and kind of like simple as it is something that we've really keyed on, and we play our best volleyball when we all just genuinely have a great time.
I mean, yeah, having fun, I think, is something that a lot of people overlook. I mean, I could tell that from baseball.
Yeah.
It's so easy just to even one thing can go wrong, and it just your whole mindset changes.
Yeah.
From everything. And then for you, personal goals.
Yeah. I genuinely think that if I can do whatever I can to be the perfect puzzle piece in the team, grand scheme of things, the big picture, I'm happy. Whatever it is, because it changes from game to game. With volleyball, you're not always going to be the dude that gets all the kills. You're not going to always be the dude that gets all the aces. Sometimes, I'm the dude that is going to swing 100 on the game just because I got 60 junk balls, in the first 2 sets. And I have to get them out of system, get reset balls so other people can get those in-system kills. Some games I'm not getting set at all because another guy has the hot hand, and I'm just there to pass dimes and get block touches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think if my personal goal this year is just to basically find my role each game as soon as I can and just absolutely pound that goal and just to dial that in and just play the best I can to win every game.
Do you think that takes a toll mentally a little bit?
I think if you're weak mentally, yeah. I mean, if you go into genuinely, I mean, if you're gonna go, I mean, everybody wants to be the best player on the floor at all times, but if you are able to walk off the floor and be okay with winning and swinging 100 every game, that genuinely takes a lot of mental strength and to be a good teammate. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and a lot of people have that on our team, which is awesome. I think one of the best examples of that, in my opinion, is my roommate and our right side, Jake Miller. I mean, he has never really been in a position where he's going to get a lot of out-of-system balls and junk balls. And like I said, during our last game against Benedictine, the Christian Staple Memorial match, the Battle of Chicago and Maple, I think he swung like 110 or something like that, 190, because he got a ridiculous amount of junk balls because our back row couldn't pass that day. But he swung as hard as he could on every single ball. He was absolutely banging away, which is exactly what you should do. Yeah. So because he wasn't terrified of ruining his stats, his hitting percentage, he wasn't going to tip and roll every single time. He was just banging away, getting kills, getting really good reset balls, and allowing us to basically take advantage of them being able to bomb serves, get us out of system, and have us still side out and gain points.
Yeah.
So again, going back to your original question, I know I'm rambling on, but my personal goal is just to be the best player that my team needs me to be at all times.
Good. I think it's a good personal goal to have at the end of the day.
Because it's hard to do. I was not good at it my first couple of years. When I would
Really?
swing 100 and win, genuinely, I think when I was a little more immature, I'd be more happy than if I would be less happy than if I swung 500 and lost, which was pretty embarrassing to say. But as a freshman and sophomore, I think that's where my mentality was.
Yeah.
But just I think maturing, playing with the same guys after 4 years, playing with the same coach, realizing our team goals, I think that develops.
So I really much don't have anything else. Oh, wait, I do.
Okay.
Let's speak of you work at the radio station, right? You were at the radio station.
Yeah, slightly.
Slightly. You're always the new music guy.
Just slide.
You're always the new music guy. You've come up with a lot of new musics. I know that over the years you've randomly just popped your head in Studio B, showed me a couple of cool songs. And next thing you know, they found my way on my playlist.
That's great to hear.
Yeah. So you've always just been into music just ever since you were little. You just knew that maybe one day, you're going to be working at a college radio station, or
again,
I guess
honestly,
not saying you were seeing yourself working at a college radio station.
Of course. I think that it's interesting. I already talked about my parents, but it was all my mom.
Really?
My mom she loves music. Like, she was massive into music when she was little. I mean, she had this entire completely filled, like this, those bins that you'd have in your basement, like Halloween decorations.
Yes.
Those bins. We had an entire one of those to the brim of CDs.
Really? Dang.
She listened to music her entire life and got me into music. Like, when I was 3, I would listen. I don't listen to them anymore, but I would listen to Green Day, like, in the car.
Yeah.
Like, when I was in a little like baby carrier in the back seat, she'd literally be playing like Metallica and Disturbed CDs in the car.
So you really exposed to the rock scene, the metal scene,
yeah,
everything, all that.
Yeah, I mean, her favorite band of all time is Coldplay.
Okay.
And she really got me into that type of music at a very young age. And she didn't really force it on me. She would play it all the time. But now, like kind of leaving high school and going into college, I started really listening to a lot more music because I was tired of listening to the same couple artists over and over again, because I was kind of stuck in this little emo bubble where I would literally only listen to like 21 Pilots. It was really bad. And like Imagine Dragons. So
Imagine Dragons is good, right?
Imagine Dragons, yeah.
All right.
Now they're not. They used to be. They had a couple good songs. Anyway, I think that just kind of learning from her, listening to like really getting into her favorite bands like Led Zeppelin. I really got into Pink Floyd once I came here. Tame Impala is one of my favorite bands now. And obviously like Metallica, one of the best bands of all time.
Yeah.
But yeah, coming into my sophomore year, I randomly just was like, oh, there's a music director spot. I'm just going to interview for it. I'm not going to get it because I'm a sophomore. Like, there's so many other candidates, but like whatever. And I got the job. Dude's like, you had a really good interview. You seem like you just really love music. I'm like, that I do. I do genuinely love music. And I came here and met a bunch of cool people. Zach DeWitz, our manager, is an awesome boss to have. He loves music just like I do. And half the meetings I have with him are just us talking and nerding out about music. And it's just the best thing ever.
That's pretty sick.
So it's really fun. I just get to come here, schedule, and record, and implement my favorite music into the station. And I think that's the best part, because when I go home after uploading 10 to 12 currents for like 3 hours, laying in bed, I'm not just like, oh my god, I get to leave the radio station. I'm listening to those songs. I genuinely love the songs and the currents and the new music that I upload. So that's the best part. I get to actually do something I really like to do.
Yes.
And it's a lot of fun. And I'm not going to do this any other time. And there's not going to be a time where I could just be like, I like this song. Everybody has to listen to it now. It's going to be a lot of fun. The rest of this year, kind of taking it all in, being the music director for my last hurrah. And there's really no other time we're going to be able to do anything like this.
You don't think you're going to do anything like when you graduate college here in the April, April. Yeah, we graduate in April.
Yeah.
I probably should remember that. I'm graduating as well. Nice. So at Life After College, you're going to try to do something within music?
Probably not.
Or
I really, really like music, and it's definitely one of my like greatest passions. I love it. I collect vinyls. I've probably spent my like life savings on vinyls, which is really bad. But
I mean, one day they're going to be worth more.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Maybe. I genuinely love everything about it, but I feel like going forward, I would want to keep my passion, not my job.
Okay.
It's one of the things that I've
keep it as a hobby.
Yeah, keep it as a hobby. I genuinely love everything about music, the recording process, the implementation of it. I've talked to artists here and there, the actual like creative process of making music behind everything. I love everything about it. But as good as it sounds being paid to do something along those lines, I think long term it would be awesome to, go into entrepreneurship like I am now, either start a business, go into sales, dip my foot into the business that way, come home, put on a vinyl, and love the music that
instead
way.
of just listening to that music all day or being around it all day, and then you go home. It's like it soon will probably change into I don't want to listen to that when I'm at home anymore.
Exactly.
I listen
because
to
this isn't a full-time job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm in two sports here. I have this, and it has really nothing to do with like a full-time job.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it working here as well. Like, I love it. It's great. But, I got 4 classes. You got, work and I got work and everything. So, like, besides that point, everything is nice. To wrap up here, I got a couple rapid fire questions.
Of course.
Give it to everybody. I'll change up some questions just because what we've talked about. But I'll start it off. Baseball guy growing up, Cubs or Sox?
Cubs.
All right.
All day. Come on now.
Glad Myron's not here on his birthday. He would be very upset.
Oh, I would at me in the comments. I'll go at him right now. I'll go at him right
He
now.
said last in our last episode, Jamari, he was like, because Jamari is Sox for the South Side, right? And Myron was like, I'm sick and tired of all these Cubs fans coming on the show. Glad he's not out here.
Yeah, I'm
now.
not a bandwagon though. I have a Cubs hat that looks like it's aged 400 years because I've had it since I was born.
So at least you're a Cubs fan pre-2016, so that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
Listen, one baby, born and raised.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs, 100%.
Okay.
No question.
Do you have a dog?
I don't. I'm actually allergic.
So you like dogs, but you're allergic to dogs. There's dogs that are meant for you.
No, yeah, of course. I can get a hyperallergenic
Yeah.
dog, a hyperallergenic dog.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm way more allergic to cats though. Also, cats suck. They just sit there. They're douchebags.
They are mean. They're very
so
mean.
mean.
I do hate cats. I really do.
I just like dogs because they have more personality. They're more just you can like play around with the dog. You can play catch with it.
Yeah,
it's a lot more fun.
Yes, I have a dog. And I
No
love
small
it.
dogs. No dogs that I can punt 40 yards. I want a dog.
Like a bigger dog.
A bigger dog.
Bigger dog. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
No question.
Favorite band?
All time.
All time.
Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin.
Best band of all time. At me in the comments.
So then, new rock, old rock.
Old rock. No
Old
question.
Rock, no question.
And that's the best band of all. That's very hard because I have like 3 bands that I absolutely love.
Yeah.
And that's Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, and Metallica.
Okay.
And it's kind of just like classic rock, psychedelic rock, heavy metal. So they're just very different.
So there's at least 3.
There's 3 that I could just switch off that are always going to be my favorite.
Deep dish or thin crust?
I'm going to say this. If you're going to get a pizza, if you're going to get a thin crust, better. No, hold on. I have to like word this way better. I was about to stutter so hard. Hold on. All right. A bad deep dish is worse than a bad thin crust. But
I can agree with that.
better deep dish is leagues better than a better thin crust.
So which one?
If I'm going tippy top, and if you're going to like the best pizza you can get, deep dish.
Deep dish? Okay.
Yes.
All right. I will have to agree. The thin crust, the worst one comparison.
You can get a shitty thin crust, and you're like, yeah, that'll be fine.
Yeah, it's whatever.
A shitty deep dish is, it's not good.
Bags or cornhole? Which one are you calling it?
Bags.
Bags?
That's too many syllables.
Favorite player growing up?
Favorite player?
Just of any sport. You can do multiple sports. Any sport.
I mean, cliche answer. I absolutely loved Michael Jordan growing up. Michael Jordan and Kobe. I think those two, just the mentality of that. Those two have kind of just tried to impersonate the best I could on game days and stuff like that. When it comes to a player that's going to just absolutely hype me up, Mike Tyson is my favorite guy to watch. He is just an absolute animal. I mean, he's literally a menace.
Really?
Yeah, I love watching Mike Tyson on game days. I think he's one of my favorite athletes of all time. Other than that, I absolutely loved Derek Lee growing up.
I'm not lying. When I said favorite play, I asked you it, and you were looking, you're like, and I was like, he's gonna say Derek Lee.
Derek Lee
it has to be Derek Lee.
Was my favorite player growing up. First baseman for the Cubs. Loved. I had his jersey growing up, so you can take that as you will. Just those are some of my favorite athletes.
Are you putting a ketchup on a hot dog?
If you put a ketchup on the hot dog, you leave my room right now. You're not invited to the cookout anymore. You're gone. You're done. It's big boy time. It's time to grow up. You're putting mustard on that thing. My friend the other day told me that he's eating bratwurst with just ketchup. And I left.
Oh, no.
I left. No. Mustard is the best condiment of all time. Mustard on any type of sausage. That's no question.
Okay, then your Chicago style dog, what are you getting on it?
Oh. What do I not get on it?
Okay, so you're pretty much doing everything?
Like I'm going mustard. I can go two types of mustard too. I go mustard, Dijon, onions, spore peppers. I'm going the tomato slices, pickles. What else is there? That's the Chicago dog, right?
I believe so. Off the top of my head, I believe.
Yeah, we got the hot dog.
This is usually Myron's question, and then he just lists off all of the ingredients.
Yeah, onion, spore peppers, pickles, and then the tomato slices. Yeah, it's over.
Hey, so pretty much everything.
It's incredible. Oh, you know what? I would add sauerkraut and caramelized onions on there too.
Okay.
Like literally
all
everything.
right.
I'm also German growing up, so
yeah,
that comes. Yeah.
Let's see what else. Here you go. One teammate you would give the aux to.
This is a heated debate in the locker room.
Really, right now?
Yeah, because
perfect.
We got a bunch of guys that play very different music.
Okay.
I think I have a very interesting take when it comes to hyping me up. I have a lot of different style of music because like I said, I listen to like death metal, heavy metal. I could also obviously listen to a lot of rap. I love rap. Anything from Kendrick Lamar, Kanye, all the way to like Chicago rap, Polo G, Jeremy Cardenas got me into them. And older rap too, you can rip Eminem, Mobb Deep, Biggie, Tupac, anything like that I'll listen to. But when it comes to aux, I think overall, if I'm just getting aux in any scenario, I'm giving it to Jake Miller, right side. Because he has a really good wide variety of music. He can play 70s rock. He could play really good rap. He can play some EDM.
So he can just go from every genre and it's just bangers.
Yes. In a nutshell. I think consistency-wise on the court, I'd give it to Jeremy Cardenas. He has a pretty good clean rap playlist that he put together. Granted, it kind of all sounds exactly the same because it's all like Chicago and Atlanta rap. It's like all Polo G, G Herbo, Lil Durk, and like Lil Baby. But it's King Von's in there too.
Nice.
But it's consistent. It's good. Doesn't disappoint. So yeah.
Then one teammate you would not give the aux to.
So many. It's too many to count.
Really?
There's too many to count. Legitimately, I think the worst.
Yeah, who's got the worst music taste?
The worst. Oh my god, so many. I'm not gonna say a couple of guys just because they just listen to such different music. I can't even say it's bad.
Okay.
Like a lot of the guys listen to a lot of more female-dominated artists that I just don't listen to.
Okay.
Like I'm not gonna say like they have the worst music taste because I genuinely have never listened to enough let's say Rihanna and Nicki Minaj just say "Get Off the Aux." You know what I mean? Because I would give their songs a chance if I had the time. I just don't listen to. I'm not a big fan of female rap, so I would say the worst. Gosh, I don't know. Anyone who plays country, I'm not a big fan of country.
Wow.
I don't like. I
feel hurt.
It's growing on me. It's growing on me as we speak, because I like a lot of older country. I can listen to a lot of Johnny Cash.
Okay.
I can listen to some Tennessee whiskey. But any new country, I'm not a big fan of.
Gotcha.
So I can't say one person.
So you just can't.
There's so many.
This team sounds like the volleyball team's just got bad taste in music.
Everyone's so different on the volleyball
team. Last question here. It is the island question.
Okay.
Stranded on a deserted island, and you can bring only 3 things. What are you bringing?
I'm bringing like a Amtrak for like a playlist to listen to with headphones, kind of like the
Walkman. The Walkman.
The Walkman.
All right, so I'll count music in that as being one item, so you don't have to bring.
So like a playlist.
All right.
Playlist I'm bringing. 2. Jesus, I've never been asked this question before. I'll be honest with you. I've heard it
really
asked all the time. I'm bringing. And I bring a roll out all the time. Make sure my body's feeling right.
Never heard that one. That has not been said. A Walkman with music and a roller. All right, roller. Instead of ruler.
And I'm gonna bring a book.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring a Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. Best book of all time. My favorite book.
I don't read, so I don't know that book.
Nerds out there, rate me 1 to 10 on my favorite book.
You're not the first person to say a book, though.
Okay.
You're not the first person to say the book. So yeah, I think that's all I got. Thank you so much, Jared.
Of course.
For coming on, talking a little bit about volleyball, life growing up a little bit, and as well as at least gave you some good answers on that.
Nice, man.
On the rapid
to keep
fire
it entertaining
questions.
for the fans.
Definitely did. Definitely did. Myron usually ends every episode with his little saying, so I guess I will continue it. And that's a wrap. Cats or dogs?
Dogs. Dogs. No question. I want an animal that can beat me up. You know what I mean? Cut that. We're not putting that in. We're cutting that. No way we're putting that in. You could go the entire episode and then go boop and then put that in right at the end, like not edited at all.